When you know the best depression self-help tips, you will know how to break out of depression naturally. There are excellent self-help tips for depression that will cure you fast and naturally. Studies such that meditation helps depression arguably more than anything else. Take a look at that link for a free guide, but there are other natural treatments for depression too. Many of these depression self-help tips come from the best self-help books. Definitely worth a read. Greater than here is everything you need for spiritual healing. The 21 best depression self-help tips to break out of depression fast and naturally. Self-help for depression tips. 1. Go to a counselor. Yes, this is not my personal favorite depression self-help tip either, but it is important. Listen, this might not be the most inspiring entry on this list, but one of the best self-help tips for depression is to admit you need help and to ask for it. When trying to help yourself with depression, you need to admit if you need help. There is no shame in going to a counselor for depression. In fact, there's plenty to be proud about going to a counselor. At least, you are facing your problems and trying to overcome them. That's a lot better than ignoring the issue. A counselor can advise you on options for handling depression. Just talking about depression can help a lot. It will make you see that there are solutions and that there are ways to beat depression that do not include unhealthy medications. A similar way to help cure depression quickly is to ask for immediate help from friends and family, but here I am presuming that you are the one with depression. If, instead, you are trying to help someone with depression, read this. It will help you. You counsel them. Depression self-help tips. 2. Walk. This has been one of the best self-help tips for depression since mankind developed legs. Go for a walk. Walking is immensely relaxing. In fact, doctors in Europe actually prescribe walking as a treatment for depression. 4. Doing some gentle exercise somewhere relaxing out in nature gives your body and mind a chance to heal. You can also see that the natural world has its own ups and downs too. There are times when the world is joyful, like in spring, and times when it is hibernating, like in winter. It is all a cycle, as is depression. Depression will eventually lead back to happiness, just as winter becomes spring. Depression self-help tips. 3. Sunshine on a rainy day. It wasn't that long ago that vitamin D supplements were considered a breakthrough supplement that could prevent you from getting depression. Now we know that that isn't entirely true. Sunshine is the cure. Mother Nature knows how to cure depression quickly, and the answer is to get more sun. Go out there and bask in it. Depression self-help tips. 4. Mindfulness. There is nothing better than meditation for depression. And the best type of meditation to use is mindfulness. One of the biggest breakthroughs in health over recent years has been mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness is a very simple concept. I love how simple it is. All mindfulness is focusing on the present moment, on reality. Go for a walk in nature, sit down somewhere and meditate on what you see. This will calm your mind and cultivate inner peace. Depression self-help tips. 5. Eat those greens. Mother Nature really does know what she's doing. That's why crappy junk food like hamburgers, the unnatural foods, have been linked to depression, where nature's food, fruit and vegetables, is linked with curing depression. Research shows that people who eat large amounts of commercial and baked foods are 51% more likely to develop depression. 5. Include some power foods in your diet. I'm telling ya, trust nature and you will be cured of depression. Eat those green, drink water. Just ask yourself, is this food natural? If it is, eat it. If it isn't, don't. Simple. In addition to eating greens, you might like to try taking a supplement of niacin B3 too. Depression self-help tip. 6. Laughter. It's hilarious that something as simple as laughter can cure depression, but it does. Grab yourself all the funniest movies ever, sit down and watch them and laugh your ass off. An even better idea, practice the Buddhist meditation technique Smiling Buddha, mindful laughing. This technique has been used for thousands of years to cultivate joy and happiness. Now I want you to take this seriously. I know the idea of using laughter to heal depression sounds, well, it sounds silly. But it genuinely works. Back in 2009 I suffered extreme stress. Okay, it's not the same as depression, but it is similar. I was told by my doctor that I had had a heart attack. I was 27. The stress really affected me. And can you imagine how angry I was when, 2 weeks later, the doctor laughed and told me that I was fine and that there was nothing to worry about, that she had made a silly mistake. Anyway, thanks to my doctor I went through extreme stress. And in order to heal myself I turned to comedy. I watched every comedy I could get my hands on. I laughed my ass off. And it made me feel a lot better. And yes, this was during a time of extreme stress. Laughing works. Try it. And while you're at it, I highly recommend that you read this guide to the importance of humor. It will really open your eyes. Depression Self-Help Tip 7. Breathe. Proper breathing helps your mind and body to relax, and, let's face it, theirs isn't an easier cure than breathing. Make sure you are breathing deeply and slowly and in a relaxed fashion. You can make it even more relaxing by meditating on your breathing, which essentially means focusing your mind 100% on your breathing and not on anything else. Let's do it right now. Try these simply breathing meditations at home. They'll help you to relax. Depression Self-Help Tips 8. Get in a routine. When fighting depression, naturally you need to establish a routine. This will give your brain structure and help you to stay active throughout the day. Example: Routine 7. Wake 7:30, eat a mindful breakfast. 8. Get ready for work. 9. Start work. 1. Lunch. Meditate during lunch break. 5. Finish work. 5:30. Get home from work and get gym clothes on. 6. Exercise for an hour. 7. Eat a mindful dinner. 7:30. Meditate for half an hour. 8. Relax for the evening. 10. Bed. Stick to a regular bedtime. Depression Self-Help Tips 9. Sleep. It can be hard to get to sleep when you are suffering from depression, but when fighting depression, naturally you need to overcome this problem. Set a regular time for waking up and going to bed. You may find that meditating in bed helps too. Alternative: use sleep mantras. A good option is to improve sleep quality with nighttime meditations. Depression Self-Help Tips 10. Get a dog. Studies show that people who have dogs are less likely to have depression. Scientific research shows that the reasons why dogs lift moods is all about oxytocin, the love hormone. Oxytocin is vital to healthy emotions and happiness. Now, scientific research has proven that when you play with a dog you get a natural release of oxytocin. Dogs also help us to prevent depressing situations. For instance, people who have a dog are more likely to go for daily walks, and those daily walks make you happier. Dogs also put an end to your inner critic. When we're depressed, our inner voice becomes our enemy, telling us how crappy we are. But scientific research has shown that your dog makes you release oxytocin, and when you release oxytocin, your self-talk is stopped. Add to that the fact that your dog loves you unconditionally, and it's clear to see how your little furry love ball can help to keep you free from negativity. And then there's the fact that your dog makes you more active. Your dog gets you out of bed when they leap on your belly. They get you outside when they want to walk. They make you play with them. And all of that energy-burning activity helps keep your body and mind in a healthy, active state. Dogs also help you to be more mindful. Mindfulness is the state of being non-judgmentally aware of the present moment. Dogs live in the now. They're not like humans, they don't dwell in the past. Your dog is active and in the moment. By being around your dog, you yourself live in the moment too. My advice? Go give your dog a great big hug and let him know how much he means to you. Depression Self-Help Tips 11. Go gently. It is always important when suffering from depression to go easy on yourself. Depression causes a lack of energy, fatigue, lack of motivation and more. That's why less is often more. Pushing yourself too hard can lead to bad results. It's important that you try and be your best friend. Do what you can, but don't push yourself to do any more than that. So, whether you're doing meditation, CBT, physical exercises or anything else, go easy. Depression Self-Help Tips 12. Support. Take whatever support you can. It will help if you have a loving family. That's great. If you have friends, that's great too. You can also find a depression support group. The evidence shows that depression support groups can make a big difference. Source: find people who will help with depression, people who will just be that gentle supporting hand that you need from time to time. Accept their support. It helps both you, yourself, and them. Depression Self-Help Tips 13. Find sources of positivity. We all get positivity from different places. For me, personally, I find positivity in meditation, music, friends, family, writing, movies, poetry, dance and kickboxing. These are sources of positivity for me. Create a list of sources of positivity in your life. Take 5 minutes to do this now before reading on. Then, the next time you're feeling depressed, you can turn to your sources of positivity for a helping hand. Also remember to remove sources of negativity, such as people who are using gaslighting tactics on you. Depression Self-Help Tips 14. Sleep. Having suffered from minor depression myself, I know that it can be extremely hard to sleep when your mind refuses to switch off. Depression Self-Help Tips 15. Diet. You are what you eat. That's true for your body and your mind. Your mind needs the right vitamins and minerals just as your body does. Consult a doctor or healthcare professional for nutritional advice. Make sure you're giving your body and mind the nutrients they need to fight depression. Success. Depression Self-Help Tip 16. Exercise. There is a natural link between exercise and depression. Exercise releases happy chemicals like dopamine and serotonin that naturally make you feel happier. Again, don't push yourself. Exercise in small amounts. Do what you can do comfortably. Maybe just go for a walk, do a little tai chi or something relaxing like that. You should never overdo it. Depression Self-Help Tip 17. Sunshine on a rainy day. Lack of sunshine throws your body's internal rhythm out of W. It can also lead to seasonal affective disorder. Get sunshine each day. The recommended daily sunlight is between 6 to 20 minutes depending on where you live and your skin type. Source: you might also like to consider a vitamin D supplement. Depression Self-Help Tips 18. Challenge the negative. When you're depressed, you think negatively. That's pretty much guaranteed, but you don't have to settle for negative thinking. You can challenge your negative thoughts with more positive ones. Depression Self-Help Tips 19. Get through this and you are sorted for life. This piece of advice is very personal to me. At the lowest point in my life, I realized one thing that changed my entire world. That one thing was this: if you get through depression, you will have mastered life. Think about it. Depression is the biggest challenge we face. It's the worst of times. Depression makes you feel your lowest. But when you learn to get through depression, you will learn to master your mind. Get through this and you can get through anything. Anything. Life is going to be a freaking doddle once you beat depression. This is probably the hardest thing you will ever do. And when you do it, you will realize just how much you are capable of. Depression Self-Help Tips 20. Spirituality. Research shows that having a spiritual mindset leads to less depression, less stress, more happiness, and an improved perspective on life. I was fascinated to learn all the health benefits of spirituality, so I researched and wrote a whole article on the subject. Take a look at his study on the importance of spirituality in your life. Depression Self-Help Tip 21. Remember, some sadness is natural. Do you think your feelings of depression are unnatural? They might be, perhaps. But listen. We all suffer from feelings of depression from time to time. It is very easy to start feeling depressed. Not exercising, unhealthy diets, screen addiction. These are all causes of depression. But often, it's not actually clinical depression. Many people also confused sadness for depression. TV is to blame for this. We constantly see adverts for medication. Pharmaceutical companies spend $5.2 billion per year on advertising in order to convince you that you need their products. It works like this. You feel sad, you look for a reason why you're upset, even though negative emotions are normal. You see one of the millions of TV ads that tell you you might have depression and that you should take antidepressants. You think, maybe my sadness is depression. You start to believe that you are sad because you have depression because of the nature of the brain. Your mind now looks for ways to confirm your negative belief. You see all the evidence that you're depressed. You logically reason that you have depression. You go on antidepressants or you just give up TV and get out of the vicious loop. Studies show that 60% of people diagnosed with depression do not actually meet the criteria for the disorder. 3. The truth. It can be hard to know if you're actually depressed. And that is one reason why many depression therapists recommend natural treatments instead of medication. There are ways to turn negative emotions into positive ones. There are ways to break out of depression naturally. Let's take a look at the best. Conclusion: depression is at an all-time high. But meditation can help cure depression. It is a free, healthy, and powerful way of handling depression. Meditation has already helped millions of people to escape depression. And hope the world picture on depression will get better from here.